Computer. Okay, welcome. Today, my name is Paul Bosworth. This is a What's Up Wednesday. Don't know when this is going to be posted, but we talk about brain health and some of the challenges and successes that come along with brain injury. I didn't find brain health until I had a brain injury. It was one asked for the other. Today, my guest is Carole Starr. She is a resident of Maine, right here in the United States, Portland specifically. She works with Wings. We inspire, nurture, guide, and support folks with brain injury in a support group setting. She's also written a book called To Root and to Rise, Accepting Brain Injury. She's also a keynote speaker. She, under the umbrella of Voices, her overall organization, she does many other things, including works with me on the Brain Injury Advisory Council connected to Brain Injury Association of America. Welcome, Carole.
Thanks, Paul.
You and I have worked together for a while,
Yeah, several years now.
And you said something in a conversation, I think probably it was at a meeting that we were in, and it's a concept called brain injury collision. And that struck me like, oh, that happens so often, and it shears relationships. It literally breaks them in seconds. And I wanted to get your take on where you came up with this, how this applies, and of course I'm going to jump in because I talk too much. But tell us about how you found this concept.
Well, it was funny because it's so interesting that this struck you so much, because for me it was just kind of like a throwaway kind of a comment, but it's wonderful that we get to talk about it more. This is really cool. So thank you for kind of organizing this conversation we get to have today.
My pleasure.
And when I said that comment, what I was thinking about is that, I do a lot of work with other brain injury survivors. I've had a brain injury myself. I've been living with this, since 1999. And sometimes what I need as a brain injury survivor and what the other person who's also a brain injury survivor is able to give doesn't always mesh because of their own brain injury. So that's kind of when brain injuries collide. What I need or what they need and what I can give, it doesn't always work. And then what do you do? Because it can lead to hard feelings, to challenges, to things not getting done. And that makes for good conversation when we can kind of get past that and say, okay, well, here's what happened. All right.
Right.
My brain injury needed this, but your brain injury couldn't deliver it. Then what? And then what do you do with that?
Right. And what's going on in my brain at the time that you're trying to give me, so to speak, this gift, and I totally just trash it and go, that's not it. And then 3 days later, he's like, you remember that time that I told you that I didn't really want to care to look at your face or anything that was coming out of it? Now I really need to know what you said, because I'm still in the place that I was 3 days ago and I'm hurting.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah. Because sometimes we can't hear or can't what we need to hear at the right time, and it makes life interesting.
Well,
sure.
and from the counselors that I talk to, because good Lord, I talk as much as I possibly can to learn, to listen, and they're in the boat as to say, talk to Paul, and I'm getting referrals from counselors, because maybe I can put it into perspective to say, there was damage in the thing that manages your emotions, your decisions, your adulations, your day. And if you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, whatever that means,
or the wrong side of the brain,
but you need help still, and you're sitting in the counselor's office and you're spewing everything you've got, and the counselor's like, I'm almost there to understand it. Have a conversation with somebody like us and maybe put some merit to how you're feeling, not past the Paul's mad or Jerry's mad or Mary's upset. Figure out, take a minute. Okay, this is what's happening with me, Paul, Carol, or any one of us on the leadership council, and just say, what do you think? And then go from there. The old joke is, the young guy, he would go to the doctor and he'd poke himself. And he said, "Ow, this hurts," and "Oh, this hurts," and he'd poke his arm. He said, "This hurts," and sometimes the simplest answer is the correct answer. And the doctor said, "You broke your finger. It's not your whole body. It's just your finger. Let's sort that out and move on from there." Because and another reason why I wanted to bring this up is because friendships will peak really quickly in a relationship with brain injury and then fall out completely, and nobody knows how it happened. Can you comment on that?
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of survivors, I lost friends, after my injury. People who couldn't understand what it was that I was going through, who were, because of their own lives. And at the time I was so hurt by it, but I understand it better now, that because of what was going on in their own lives, they were not able to walk this journey with me. But at the time it hurt tremendously. And sometimes it's the people you don't expect who stay with you, and the people you expect that were going to stay with you don't.
So what would you and I may have something to say about this, but I'm going to ask you first because you're the guest and that's how this works. What would you suggest on kind of easing the stark reality of having a brain injury collision? How could you prevent it? How could you work around it versus keep slamming into it and keep losing friends, quite honestly, or family members for that matter, or ears of family members that keep hearing the same thing over and over and over again?
I think a big thing is taking a pause, is saying, okay, when something happens and you're angry, upset, sad, all right, is my first instinct, I'm going to the computer, I'm typing something, I'm going to the phone, I'm calling them, I'm telling them how angry, upset, how disappointed I am.
I'm laughing only because you're telling the truth, Carol.
Yeah. Take a pause and wait. Like, I got an email from somebody in one of my groups just recently that you made my blood boil.
Yeah.
It's like, nope, take a pause. Do not answer this right now while you are angry about this, Carol, because it won't come out well. This brains will collide if you do this.
You're aiming for the other person, and a minute, an hour, until you cool off.
Yes, it was a day, and a half.
But it's until you can get your brain so it's not over revving,
right?
Because we lack that. We collectively, all of us, and in a society, and it spills over into society that says they've never had a brain injury.
Absolutely.
Have ran into the issue of, "Oh, I'm so mad. I'm gonna give him a piece of my mind." Well, this is the person that caregivers for you on a daily basis, if not hourly. Let's push the clutch in and slow up a little bit.
Yes, and also to ask other people to, like, say, all right, maybe I know, maybe my judgment's a little impaired because I have a brain injury. Maybe I don't always see things accurately. Right? Who are the people in my life that I trust who will tell me that, maybe you're not seeing this accurately?
The pictures, all the colors are changed.
And to say, who will I listen, and to actually listen to those people to say, all right, my blood is boiling. I'm so angry about this. All right.
All I see is red.
Right.
I'm going to tell you what I've got. What do you feedback on me? What are you hearing from me?
Right. And to listen to what that person has to say, knowing that sometimes, I mean, I have a brain injury. Sometimes my judgment is impaired. Sometimes I don't see around all the corners. I don't see all of the repercussions. I just had to write something for Social Security disability. They do like the reviews, periodically.
Mhm.
So I called my father because I have tended to be, in his words, quote, too optimistic in terms of, well, I could do this. He's like, no, you can't, Carol.
Right.
And he's right.
Right.
But I mean, I have a good half hour, and I think I can do like 40 hours.
But on a Thursday
But I trust him. But I trust his. I said, can I read this to you? Because I know in the past I have been too optimistic. Because I trust his judgment.
and
Because I don't
those
quite trust
tests,
my own.
those tests have to be in real life. Those have to be in real scenarios. And that's awesome that you have that. And I encourage the listener, the reader, the audience to take a minute and have those people, in their pocket, so to speak.
Yes.
'Cause
And different people for different situations.
to this day, I have 3 people that I run decisions by. One's a mom, one's a business owner, and one is an administrative person. So they're going to have very different opinions and outlooks and a position to look at what I'm talking about. And it really helps. Now, for those that don't have anyone, go back to start and give it a day or a day and a half before you lay somebody out. Give yourself that time and attention to recoup, because it all of our feelings are in it, like it or not.
Mhm.
And let those feelings cool down. And what I've done in the past is write down everything.
I was just going to say that.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Journaling about something, right? Kind of writing it out or drawing it out. Walking it out.
That's one thing I'm really good at is it's a storm. It's not really a walk, it's a storm off. And if I go around 3 times, that was a very good lesson, because these are lessons to me. These are lessons for me to take me into the next week, the next month, next year, because I want to have my brain better, not keep repeating itself over and over again. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And that's always, I think, one of the challenges of brain injury is repeating. I mean, I do this too. It's like, how did I get here again? It's like, all right, I thought I could do this. Everybody else knew that I couldn't, but yet everybody but me.
Here I am standing in the corner again, looking at the corner.
Right.
I really want to go outside.
It's like, and how do I know when I can trust my judgment and when my judgment is being impaired? And I won't lie, I still struggle with that. It's gotten better over the years. I have fewer of those collisions. But when I get, I guess, euphoric is kind of like when I'm blasting kind of full speed ahead. Usually that's my brain injury doing very bad things to me.
I call that gung-ho.
Yes.
The gas pedal is floored on a Thursday afternoon. I feel like I'm perfect. Friday morning is going to tell a different story, because I'm going to wake up and go, what was I thinking? Well, we'll leave this here. I didn't want to go too far. Carole, thank you very much. You're welcome to join me again for another just a topic, just one topic, and then we can kind of add these. And but thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, anytime. Happy to participate anytime.
Until next time, thanks again.
You're very welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.